Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pometry. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, go on down and hit subscribe for us. We are here at the 35th Annual Necronomicon in Tampa, Florida, and we are hanging with Jeff Carroll, a writer and a filmmaker, the creator of the Harlem Shake, which we have right here. Harlem Shake, shake, shake. We're shaking. Yeah, we're shaking. All right. Harlem Shake. So, thanks for hanging with us, Jeff.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
All right, man. So, where to start? Where do we? 35th Annual Necronomicon. Just got set up. People are rolling in, talking to some folks over there at the table. What are people saying about Harlem Shake?
Well, I've had a group of young people just come over to my table and compliment me, for being here with, I guess, jazzy titles and different stuff that they can relate to. And people like Harlem, they just saw Luke Cage, I got the Apollo Theater on the cover. I guess a couple of things, picking it up, and the dance to Harlem Shake from like 3 years ago is still in people's minds. So I'm getting some good responses. It just came out in August 2016, and right now it's selling. I just sold out. I did a book signing in Harlem at a restaurant called the Harlem Shake, and sold out all of my books there. Between there and New York Comic-Con, I was doing well.
You're doing all right, man. New York Comic-Con.
Yes.
That's a big time.
Oh yeah, well, I'm a New Yorker by heart. I was born in the Bronx, and I was raised 10 miles outside of New York in Teaneck, New Jersey. So New York is my stomping ground.
Fantastic, man. So this is your first book?
Actually, no, it's my fifth science fiction book, and I write also nonfiction. I do self-help books.
Awesome.
I do a couple of those as well.
How long have you been writing?
Well, you have to go back to my film era, because I started as a filmmaker. I did 2 independent films, and I wrote my first film in 2003.
Okay.
And that was called Holla If I Kill You. And right now...
Holla If I Kill You.
Yes.
Should it be holla before I kill you?
Yeah,
I mean, after I kill you, there's not much holler in there, man.
Well, when you get to the afterlife, holla back.
Holla back. There you go. All right, man. That's all right.
And so
and
I
what
started.
Was next after that?
Well, my second one was this one here. It was called Golddigger Killer. And Golddigger Killer was really my confidence film. My first film, I was like, I made a movie. I didn't really show it to anybody. Did like one film festival. And then when Golddigger Killer came out, because Holla If I Kill You did so well, if you remember Hollywood Video,
I do.
It sold in Hollywood Video, went to the military.
On the World Wide Web, before y'all could just stream this stuff in the living room from nowhere, you had to go to a video store.
Yes.
You had to get one of these. This is called a DVD.
Yes.
And it goes in a machine. They don't know.
No,
they don't know.
It's same drive.
This is the pain of driving down to the local store and picking up a DVD.
You could play this in your PlayStation, your Xbox.
Make it
now
easy.
They know. Make it relatable. Because computers don't even have DVD drives anymore.
Wow.
So everything.
Technology got so. All right, so you're making the festival circuit here with Golddigger Killer.
Yes.
All right, and so you just got writing and decided we're going to do some books.
Yeah,
now.
man, and that film actually blew up. I made it for less than, $25,000, including promotion and everything, and it made over $250,000. It got distributed through Warner Brothers. It got picked up by Walmart, sold out of Walmart, Best Buy, Circuit City, and kind of was my, welcome to entertainment, calling card. And the company that I got the distribution deal, shall remain nameless, filed for bankruptcy 6 months after the film came out. Ooh. And I only received one royalty payment, which was probably 1/40th of what I expected and or what I was looking forward to. And it kind of, for a small company, it depleted me. It just took me out of business, and I decided, it doesn't cost money to write a book. I had already produced a comic book that I was selling at the film festival screening the film. So I said, you know, natural progression, let me step it up and do a book version of the movie. And so I made a novelization of the movie, and I fell in love with the freedom of writing, that I didn't have to pay for actors, I didn't have to buy special effects. I was like, you know, I can write anything.
And they never complain. When you write it down, that he's going to turn his head to the left.
Yes.
Nobody complains. He just does it.
Right.
People
you know,
just see it in their mind.
no problem. Actors and stuff.
Yeah. And so, all right. So, you've done some fan interaction.
Yes.
So the film blew up. What are people saying about the latest Harlem Shake?
Well, Harlem Shake is kind of my most liberating film, or story. Because it's a film story that I could never produce myself. So I'm like totally leveling Manhattan. You know, I'm destroying. If you like the Hudson River, that's totally gone. It's not the same.
I did that to DC last year.
Oh, there you go.
I just flattened it.
And it was empowering, because I always, when I do ever writing workshops or talk to people as a writer about writing, I always say, you're the god of your story. So I was the destructioner of Harlem. You know, as gods can create, so shall they destroy.
Jeff Carroll,
I just destroyed
the destroyer.
The pen,
Harlem
baby.
Shake, y'all. Get out there, Harlem Shake. So, all right, we know you're a filmmaker. We know you're an author. Mm-hmm. All right. What don't they know? What's your hidden talent?
I like to say I'm a great liar. And that's what makes my stories so possible. I mean, everybody approaches writing from a different angle, but Jonathan Mayberry and one of my influencers, L.A. Banks, had a group, or they still have it in Philadelphia, called the Liars Club. And it was all science fiction writers. And while I have not become a member of it yet, I consider myself an honorary member, unofficial.
He's waiting for his invitation.
Yes.
I'll get on that now. So we want to get in your head a little bit. We'd like to let the World Wide Web know a little bit about you, the guy, Jeff Carroll, the guy.
Well, I'm a father of 2 and a grandfather of 3. I am an 8th grade language arts teacher currently.
That's about my writing level. So
yeah,
we're gonna send the stuff over to him for an edit.
Well, after 8, 5th grade, they finish teaching you punctuation and grammar. So 8th grade, all they're teaching you is how to write better. So you got to read and write by the time you get to 8th grade. So I teach.
Where do you teach?
I teach at Rickards Middle School in Broward County, Florida, South Florida, and I'm enjoying it. And I've been working in education on and off for maybe 20 years. Since I graduated college, I was a substitute teacher and got back into it about 3 or 4 years ago. And now I'm pursue teaching, spend more time with my son and my wife, and don't have to travel as much. And it's good. So I'm enjoying teaching. I'm still a new teacher, so I don't want to talk too much about it, because you never know. They may say, you don't know what you're doing. Them kids are having too much fun in the class. So
you can't have too much fun in the classroom. Yeah, can't have too much fun in the class. Got to make it fun. Got to get it inside their heads. Got to get them to learn. So just looking at just kind of getting to know your personality a little bit. What is the last Facebook meme that you saw that made you laugh out loud?
There was one, and I hate to be political. I got 2, because I'll give you a political one.
Okay.
And let me see if it's mean. There was one about the Munsters. And my second film, Golddigger Killer, deals with relationships. And sort of like a Who's Your Daddy type thing. It was what was the daughter in the Munsters? I can't remember.
The Munsters or the Addams Family?
The Munsters.
The Munsters.
Herman and the,
we had little Eddie. There was a little girl. Yeah, there was a little girl.
Right. It was that was Wednesday. That wasn't Wednesday. No, it was Marianne. Because she was the good.
She was the normal one.
She was normal. So has a picture of Herman, the wife, and Eddie, and it says, he has a child by a vampire who's a werewolf. And she goes, I'm just going to mind my business.
You're going to leave that alone.
Because, it's like a Maury Povich show waiting to happen. And like Herman comes in and says, I'm not the baby's father. So
very nice, very nice.
So that was mine. That made me laugh.
Okay. All right. So you're an 8th grade teacher.
Yes.
All right. Kids do amazing things, but we want to know about the teach. Okay. Ever been in a food fight?
Oh no. Fortunately, only fights our kids are having now are real fights. Those are little laughable ones. You could push them apart, but to them they're real, and kids are huffed up and angry. As a teacher, we don't go in the cafeteria for lunch, and I rarely hear of food fights. Maybe like the last week of school.
So kids done a little bit of growing up since we were there.
You got to give props to the food staff and security.
Absolutely.
They smell those things coming, and they make sure that they're standing right there so nobody can get it.
That's it. Okay. Really? Okay, so we go out to Facebook, social media, Twitter, whatever. We want to know what people are asking each other out there, so we can ask you.
Okay.
If you join the circus, what would you do? What would you perform? He's an 8th grade teacher. He'd be the ringmaster.
Yeah,
he's already in a circus.
I like to say that, but if I had a skill, I like the bicycle riders. You ever see the circus? With the motorcycles riding in the cage, going around like that. That's kind of something I would say.
He's a daredevil. He's going to get in and mix it up with the hard stuff.
That's if I ever was to join the circus, which is not going to happen.
Which is not going to happen. So, any current projects going on? Are you working on anything right now?
Well, right now I'm still pushing the Harlem Shake.
Okay.
And I'm being more creative with that. I'm about to launch a book tour of used bookstores in South Florida. I'm charting my tours for conventions 2017. I have 2 books that I'm waiting to release. One is a zombie book that should be out very soon. I'm hoping to get it out before Christmas. And then I have an ebook, which is an ebook trilogy, a space opera.
Wow.
The zombie book is called Rashida the Zombie Killer. And the space opera is called Welcome to Boss Lady's Planet. And they're all urban, so, urban, sci-fi, horror, you name it.
That's good stuff, man. That's awesome. So, real quick, though, a lot of going on in the sci-fi community, in the, convention community, things that you mentioned earlier, Luke Cage.
Yes.
The impact that's having out there right now. A lot of people talking about Luke Cage.
Well, what I like about Luke Cage, and that kind of is what I did with Harlem Shake, is Harlem Shake is about an earthquake, and as a black sci-fi writer, I wanted to write a multicultural story.
Awesome.
It's not, kill white people earthquake, or it's not black earthquake like we did like Blackula, but I wanted to write a story that was racially diverse, that didn't necessarily deal with either slavery or racism head on. Harlem is very multicultural. It's half Caribbean Latino and half black, and now it's getting more white people are moving in. So it's hard to say Harlem and just think black only.
Yeah.
Sure, we had that beautiful history of the Harlem Renaissance, but even that was more multicultural than we give lead to. And so far, Luke Cage is a beautiful story. It crashed Netflix. It was about a black guy superhero in a Harlem world that was real. The lead villain that survives, one of them was a white villain. So you had that diversity in there, and it wasn't, kill white people. What would a black man do that was bulletproof? Well, he just defended his community.
Yeah.
He didn't say, hey, no white people is allowed or whatever. So it was disarming
it's about inclusion. Now.
Right.
It really is. When you talk about diversity.
And with Luke Cage, it was beautiful because you didn't have to have all of that. And it showed that everybody can get into sci-fi. I have books where, people have come up and said, you're a black sci-fi writer, can I read this? Well, yes, you can. I'm black, but I'm also American. And these stories are American, they're world stories. I like Captain America, I like, you name it. All these different multicultural characters. I'm looking forward to Iron Fist,
yes.
So that's really where it takes off. And we had great black science fiction writers, and now we're graduating to bring that to comic books and superheroes. We're waiting for a Black Panthers movie.
Oh my Lord, that's going to be amazing.
The city of Wakanda.
That's going to be
we get our own city. We had Mace Windu and Lando Calrissian and never knew what planet they came from. So now at least we get Wakanda and we're like, okay.
Now we got it.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you going to be coming up? Convention appearances. You got your whirlwind book tour coming up here.
Well, I may be doing some book signings in Miami at the Miami Book Fair.
Okay.
Those are unofficial. We do have another convention coming up in December, Paradise City. One of my friends, I do a panel called the Monster Panel, where we just talk a bunch of writers. One of my panelists, Troy Bernier, Eric Swain, they do Miami Science Fiction Film Festival in January. We've already confirmed a Monster Panel for that. So you will see me there. Next year, I'm going to Fort Myers. There's a writers convention. I'm confirmed in June. Black Comic Book Convention in Philly. And there's one at the Schomburg. So I'm going to go back to Harlem in January. So you'll see me. And you can always catch up with me on Facebook or on my blog, Hip Hop Comix-n-Flix.
Make sure y'all look down below. We're going to put the links for Facebook, for the blog. We're going to put book links up there. We're going to try to put some film links up there. So you're going to be able to find Jeff anywhere on the web.
Now,
what we're going to do.
One more thing. It kind of takes us into the future. In addition to, I'm probably not old enough to be a pioneer, but I think I'm pioneering a different type of science fiction to people. I call my company Hip Hop Comix-n-Flix. But I also do a little social activism. So I have a presentation called Black Dreams Matter. And you know how they have TED Talks?
Yeah.
They do a little smaller one monthly around the country called Nerd Night. And I've been doing a presentation on black sci-fi, but the power of multicultural science fiction.
Wonderful.
On young people, suicide, gang violence, and all of that, sort of to use that to get them to think about the future. So the presentation is called Black Dreams Matter.
Awesome.
And I've been in Boca, I've been in Miami, and I've been starting to get contacted by other ones.
That's what it's all about, man.
So,
it really is reaching out to the people in this community. That's why we do what we do, reaching out to the World Wide Web and letting pop culture know that when you come here, we go to a con, it all disappears. Man, there's black, white, Latino. We're all getting our geek on.
We're all here for Star Wars or
Star
Trek, depending. I want to get into that debate.
We do have our factions.
Yes.
They don't show. So we're going to have to wrap it up here, folks. So as we do, we want to do a special shout out to our friends at Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Word Fire Press, Space Coast Comics, great new partner, Famous Faces and Funnies, the Historical Miniature Gaming Society South, that's a mouthful. I'm GW Palmature. We've been hanging with Jeff Carroll, the author of Harlem Shake, The Destroyer. The author of Harlem Shake, a filmmaker and author. Look down in the description for those links. Remember, everybody, keep logging on, keep tuning in, and see who we're hanging with next.